It's Johnny Jones and I'm here at home. And today I have a brand new camera stand, which I've been waiting for a while, to do a review on this. Now, in previous videos I didn't have a camera stand, and when I do handheld reviews it's a little hard and it's a little wonky trying to hold the thing and then hold the camera up to it. In this instance, my phone. But I want to do a review on this GE, General Electric, waterproof CB radio. Now, the model number that's on the bottom here is, if you can see that, I hope it's slightly in focus. Get in focus. There you go. Model number 5985A. Now, focus again. So, the reason why I want to do a review on this is it's not your basic handheld. A lot of interesting design functions that go into this. It is made in China, but it feels nice and hefty. I'd say weighs quite a bit more than my regular 38WXST, which I'm proud of having because that thing has a scan function on it and I love that. Anyways, this is more or less a basic radio. There's no scan function, but what's wonderful about this radio is it's very waterproof. And I don't mean water resistance. I mean this thing is pretty much, unless you dunking it in a bucket of water, very, very waterproof. And the way they do that is let's talk about the antenna. Now, the antenna is designed very well, very tight on this coil here. There's no way for this piece right here, this plastic piece, to turn like most cheaply made antennas that let water seep down in that coil. Of course, they got it capped, and they have it very effectively capped on the top so that no water gets down in the hollow portion of the antenna. Now, this thing extends 4 feet 5 inches from base to tip, so it's actually a little bit longer when you get down to where it actually ends, which is right here, which is something I want to talk about next. The screws in the back, as you can see that, have been capped with plastic. So if you ever want to take that antenna screw out, you'd either have to, I don't know if that's, I'm pretty sure that's a plastic cover. Pretty sure it's plastic cover. You'd have to take that out in order to do anything with the radio. On the back, of course, it says remove belt clip for hand strap use, which I don't think they needed to add that because I figure anyone could figure that out. I mean, technically you could still put your hand through it, but it does make problems for the battery compartment because everything's in the way. Now, another wonderful design, which I do have a sort of love for, and then at the same time it could be implemented a little better, is the fact that the speaker up front you can't see through. That's because it's cut in an angle where you can only actually get any liquid by turning it this way. You can't get any water in it without turning it this way. Now you can see the speaker through there. But in this direction, since it's cut at a specific angle, you can't see anything through that. So if the water runs down the face of this, it will actually come over here, drip down, and unfortunately they should have cut it this way, and that's my complaint, because it will eventually could go down to the mic itself. The mic has a rubberized foam to keep water away from it, but it's not exactly waterproof. It's probably the weakest part of the radio besides the battery compartment, which does, and actually they did think about this, it actually does have a rubber ring around it, as you can see there, for any water getting into the battery cavity. However, when you put this back on, if I can do this okay, I was thinking this was going to get in the way. So if you put it back on, there is some give there. So it's not entirely completely tied up against that rubber ring, so water could seep down in there, but still a very good design in what they tried to do. Now, the 12-volt DC port, that's covered up with a rubber ring, or I guess you call that a ring. It's a ring. The antenna, it can have a external antenna. Now this one's a little bit tore here. Actually, it is tore. When I got it, it was this way. But you can actually add an external antenna, which is pretty useful in a situation where you might need this. Now, a lot of people come to my channel from DuckDuckGo.com. DuckDuckGo is a search engine that makes that has your privacy in mind, apparently. Now, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying that most people who have privacy in mind have something to be concerned about. Not that they're, tired of people looking at their porn history. I'm just talking about most preppers use DuckDuckGo and places like that use VPNs. So I know there's at least a couple preppers watching this video. This would be wonderful in a situation where you have to prepare for any event, because not only could you use this to talk to people locally, but if you wanted to, and you really need help, you can make your own antenna out of wire and plug it in here. Of course, you would need the actual plug-in for that, and talk for, well, as long as a full 4-watt radio would talk, which in my case has been probably about 20 miles. That's how long I've talked, ground wave. Of course, I always have to mention that I skipped 600 miles, but ultimately, that's what you're probably going to get. Now, this CB is a little dead right now, so you're going to see the battery level go down here when I do this, but it does have a light on the side, which doesn't do much. Even with all the lights out, I wish I could. Let's see if I can do that here. Turn that off at least. Yeah, it just barely illuminates that, and it's not so much because the batteries are dead. It just doesn't do much. So, not that useful, but it would work if it was night. I mean, I imagine it would work quite well if it was at nighttime. But not only does it have CB, this has weather. So 3 weather channels. So hopefully you'll pick something up. Let's go ahead and try.
South winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Friday, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain in the morning. Patchy fog in the morning.
All right, that's great. Fog in the morning. So the other setting, which of course a lot of these radios have, and I like, is the low, medium, and high setting. Now, most radios have a high and low, but this one has a medium. Now, if you are able to talk to someone very clearly, very well, you don't need it on high. In fact, going to high does not make any noticeable difference, and I've tested that. But these settings are mostly used for if you're talking to someone and they really have trouble hearing you. You can go up to medium, and then, of course, still problems, high. Because ultimately, turning it from low to high doesn't make you that much louder. I think that just has to do with the receiver. If you're putting enough power into a receiver, if you're giving it enough juice, it's going to be fine. If you are basically in the propagation area of this antenna, with respect to dB, then you're good. If you're on the edge of it, crank it up a little bit and talk to people. The knobs themselves, actually, are really hard to turn. And not really hard. I don't have to put a lot of muscle into it, but they have a nice, tight feel to them. It's because these rubber rings, this is actually a rubberized plastic, it feels like, are pressed down into the chassis, and then these knobs float on another rubber grommet, another rubber ring on the inside, which you can feel when you turn that. So definitely waterproof knobs, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and get to some clips, and I'll show you why this power setting doesn't seem to do much. All right, my antenna is vertical now. How's that sound?
Really no change.
All right, I'm going to turn this up to medium power. You tell me how it sounds.
Okay.
Medium power, any difference?
No, sir.
High power, any difference?
Slightly louder. However you just talked,
need to hold it and talk, because I can hear you clear. The other way just sounds distorted.
Yeah, I think what it is that, see, this radio is made for outdoors use, and it's really waterproof, and I think the mic is so waterproofed that it has trouble picking me up unless I'm yelling into it.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, however you were just talking, if you can just do it like that, then it's perfect.
We could probably talk a good half-mile on this on low power, I'd say. And you're on low power, right?
I am on low power.
All right, give me high power.
Hello, Johnny. I'm on high power.
Yeah, there's not that much of a difference. Yeah, not at all.
It's Johnny Jones, and I'm here at home, and I'll see you later.
All right, that's good. All right, so Gert and I, Gert, by the way, is a nickname I gave him about 15 years ago, I think. We use these, and we live about, I don't know, several hundred yards away, so not really far. And he was able to hear me just fine on low power. The antenna helps a lot, fully extended. Of course, you always want to talk with the antenna fully extended. Remember that. The antenna beats the hell out of something like this, which is a shortened antenna, and although it's compact, it really does limit your range quite a bit. And there was no noticeable difference between high and low, not to any extent. I think he said it was a little bit louder, but nothing very useful in this situation. Anyways, it's Johnny Jones. I'm here at home, and I'll see you later.